I'd like to ask Councilman Rustin to lead us in our invocation.
Let's pray. Dear God, we thank you for today, Lord. We thank you for the things that maybe we can see and the things we cannot, God. We thank you for your grace and we thank you for your mercy. Lord, we thank you for this city and everything it represents to a lot of people. We thank you for the people that protect it on a day-to-day basis, the people that's worked hard to restore it back to its beautiful landscape after the storms, God. God, I ask you, Lord, just be with the meeting tonight, be the things to discuss, be for the benefit of the city and everybody that's here. In your name I pray. Amen.
If you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and if the clerk would call the roll, please.
Councilmember Lilly.
Here.
Mizell.
Here.
Rustin.
Here.
King. Here. Phillips.
Here.
Mayor Mitchell.
Here. Okay, I'll let you guys take a look at the agenda. Okay. First item on the agenda is the approval of the consent agenda, which is the minutes of the April 6th regular council meeting. Are there any changes or questions about the minutes of the meeting? Okay, if there's no recommendations for changes and they're acceptable, is there a motion to accept the minutes?
I make a motion.
I second.
Okay, and all in favor? Show of hands. Okay, it's unanimous. By the way, we do have a quorum with all council in attendance. Okay, so next thing on the agenda is department head reports. Chief Bowers, Police Department.
Well, things are going well at the police department. Safety should have been yellow. I'm sorry about that. I turned it in yellow. We did have one on the job injury during the storm, right after the storm. Officer Peppers was doing an assessment of a house to make sure nobody was injured. Fell and sprung his wrist. He was off a little bit more than a week. He's back on duty now. So budget is good. Personnel, we just came off green. We have an opening for a full-time officer. We have one leaving. Ken Peavy is leaving us and going on to greener pastures. Vehicles should be green now. Our Durangos came in. We pick them up tomorrow. We'll get them striped Thursday, then they'll be off to Dana Safety to get all the lights and bells and whistles and all that put on. Equipment is good. Flock cameras are going up. They should be functioning here hopefully by the end of the month. And training for 2021 continues. Issues and concerns. This is a different one. I actually had issues and concerns should be. We want to try to stress to everyone to be sure to lock your vehicles, lock your doors. If you leave valuables in your vehicles, to take those out. We've had some burglaries, people breaking into vehicles. They're really not breaking in. All they're doing is just checking door handles. So that's why we're asking you to lock your doors and be sure you keep everything either inside or out of plain view. Our highlights and opportunities. Of course, we're hiring a new officer, and then with the help of our dispatch supervisor, Kim Fuller, we started a program through Facebook called 9 p.m. If you go on and you like our Facebook account through the police department, I think you can even access it to the city. It'll send you a notice on your time feed each day that you can look at, and it just reminds you, hey, it's 9 p.m. Have you locked your doors yet? Have you taken all your valuables out of your car? Just to kind of reduce the threat of somebody getting your stuff. So besides that, we're all good.
Okay, now, how many flock cameras are we talking about?
We're getting one, and it's going to be out 47 coming into the city.
I do have a question for you. I've heard from a couple of different people over the last couple of days of this gang or group of people that's supposed to be trying to kidnap young girls this weekend. It's going to happen Saturday, and they've got a lot of people involved in it. Have you heard anything about that?
We have heard a little bit of
I mean, I don't know how true it
not
is.
very reliable intel on this. And we don't have a source of where this information is coming from.
Right.
And so we can't confirm or deny.
Okay.
Our suggestion would be, number one, always be aware of your surroundings. If you have little ones, keep an eye on them. If they're playing in your yard, how about have them play in the backyard instead of the front yard? Just simple things like that
Right.
would help greatly.
Okay.
One thing, Chief, that we've just been tipped off on this roundabout down here, people going the wrong way.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I was talking to Susan, some other folks for the meeting, and I don't know really what can be done until you catch somebody there. I don't know if we want to put like a wrong way sign or.
We've caught a couple,
Yeah.
and it's been mostly, and I'm not picking, mind you,
Sure.
it's been mostly elderly
Yeah.
people. I think it kind of confuses them a little bit, especially if they're not from Columbiana.
Right.
The lady I stopped was actually from Aniana, and she had came into town, and she had no idea where she was or where she was going. So,
Right.
I'm gonna get with Big Al. We're gonna look at that and see if maybe putting a few more one-way signs coming off of Broadway or 47 or Old 25, just something to kind of help and look and see if we can actually put another sign here that actually symbolizes the roundabout. See if that might help us.
And they fly through there too, because I was sitting out there one day and they don't even slow up.
We'll get some more pictures in there. watching traffic.
Especially coming from Shelby. If they're coming from Shelby, they don't stop there at all, even if you're coming around
And
through
see,
there.
and I see it coming from town going,
Oh, wow.
yeah. It's just crazy.
What's the flock camera gonna do?
Flock cameras, it works off of, basically like a tag reader system. And so, if you come through town, where we're having it placed, it's gonna catch you on the far end of 47 coming into town. So if you come in, it takes a picture of your tag, it runs through NCIC. If it detects whether you're a wanted felon, or you're in a stolen vehicle, or you're a person wanted for questioning, or if another agency has entered that vehicle as a dangerous person, whatever the case may be, it's gonna alert us. And in the system, you can set it up to where the guys will get it on their MDTs in their car, their computers. We can set it up where they get it on their cell phones. And so, if we catch people coming in, it gives us a little bit more time to get in the area and try and find these people. It's just another system used to help get wanted felons off the street. Basically what it is. And, you know, if we have something happen in town, we can, and we have vehicle information, we can enter that into this system. And not only will our system have it, but anyone who is on the flock system will also have it in Calera, Pelham, Alabaster, Helena, Birmingham. And in return, with us having one camera, we're also given access to their system as well. So it's a huge network, and we're really excited to.
Be nice to have them all over town.
It would be, we budgeted for 2, and the price kind of went up a little bit, which took it out of our range. So we're having 1 installed, and then next year we're gonna look at having some more. You know, I think Alabaster had 25 installed. I think Pelham's got upwards of 15 or 20, Calera's got, and so, they're a huge asset.
Any other questions for the chief?
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, chief. Appreciate it. Okay, administration, Charlene.
We have not had any lost time, for injuries.
Want me to
We
click on
have
that?
yes, please, financial review. For March, our revenue is down a little, but so are expenses. But overall for our budget, we are doing good for, this fiscal year. And that's just one of the examples of our daily cash report that the mayor and I get every day to show, what our ending general fund balance is and all the revenue, the different revenues that we're receiving. And
So that's basically the checkbook right there.
Mhm.
So, okay. Well done, you didn't work like it was supposed to.
let's see, so we don't have no reported safety issues. We, continue to clean and sanitize due to COVID. Budget revenues are up, expenses down, we're fully staffed. I attended, revenue officer training in, what was that, last week or the week before? Week before. So I'm certified revenue officer now. All of our other training is up to date. City Hall, just because of the age of the building, is, needs to be updated, but no repairs are needed at this time. Anything else that's going on?
Any questions for the city clerk?
Thank you.
Public Works, Alan?
Right now, we don't have no safety issues, budget's running good. Staffing is still in y'all. Right now, currently down 3 employees, had one quit last week. Vehicles, we still got some older vehicles out there that need some update, equipment, same thing, training's fine. We're still working on the facilities. On highlighting our community, we started April the 12th till today, we've picked up 13,976.95 yards of debris from the tornado. At a whopping cost of what it's going to end up being $101,312.59 is what we spent it until today, not including what they picked up today. I don't know, I don't have that figure and stuff. That was from DRC. And being out and about working with, most of us been working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day with them. We get to ask questions. Some of the homeowners over in Gibson Farm Road wants to know if the city's gonna come back and cut down the damaged trees that's out on the edge of the right of way or whatever. And we've been telling them we don't know what's gonna happen there at this time, that it's gonna be a little while. Everything, they should, finish up tomorrow by lunchtime with what we've got out there now. And they asked me a question. I talked to the county today what their plans was. And DRC wants to know, we want them to come back Monday, one more pass through here with their trucks to get anybody's got there from tomorrow over the weekend there. Because the county's cutting all their stuff off Monday. After Monday, you're on your own. They feel like, boy, they told me they've done all they can do with the money they were spending. And that's the way I feel about it. We done run out there. We done probably after today, I won't be scared to say it's gonna be close to $115,000 what we've spent on just picking up debris. That's not including paying the men's wages and stuff and overtime. So they just wanted to know, I just need to be able to tell them something tomorrow if we want them to come back Monday and make one more pass or not.
So I was gonna bring this up, had a discussion, earlier today with Charlene, city clerk, and we talked about the 26th. So our contract for the debris removal is, a county contract, and we're piggybacking on it, and we reimburse the county. So our, recommendation, if the council approves, is that we will, suspend any debris removal because we don't have another contract after the 26th, okay? Then I do think what we ought to do, are you saying that after tomorrow, they're gonna go away, but maybe come back on
They will come back if we want them to come back Monday.
So I think
Told me today.
what we should do is, after tomorrow, we should, assess what we have and probably ask them to come back one more day, and then we will prioritize what we want them to pick up on the 26th.
The other thing.
Now, that's my opinion, and I would like to get some discussion on that.
Well, the number's pretty staggering. I guess from a city perspective, I think we've done a lot of good work, but to your point, I think we're getting more toward the end of it. I think the city has done a lot of good for these homeowners, but at some point, I think that service it can't be sustained for the long term, because obviously. But I think if they do come back, or they consider coming back, we need to identify hotspots to where that cost doesn't get out of the way. Because unfortunately, I think what may be happening, which is natural gravitation, is, and I've heard it from other spots, is people take advantage of the service. So now you've got spring cleaning going on and all that. And I mean, I don't think that, you don't need to be in those conversations. We don't need to be in those conversations are tough. So I think if we're, just my opinion, if we're gonna ask them to come back, we need to determine as a city where these hot spots are, per se. And and it's not gonna be all the city, it just needs to be a certain, in my opinion, because I think that's gonna be the most effective use of the money, not,
So I agree. That's why I say after tomorrow, we need to assess what's out there.
and it may very well be that
they
don't need to come back after that
Exactly,
assessment
we'll
at
make a
all.
decision about Monday.
Right.
The other thing that's impacting this is the faith-based group that's been here, Christ in Action, helping the homeowners clear debris from their property. They're still working. I think they're gonna work until the 26th also, and then they're gonna leave. But there will be additional debris pushed up, into the rights of way by Christ in Action, probably for the rest of the week. I'm assuming.
See, that's the other, me and you talked about it a little bit Monday and stuff. we still got a bunch of homeowners and stuff out there that's got stumps on their property. It's either still on their property or still half in the ground, that eventually they either gonna push them to the road, and we don't have, some of the stuff, we don't have nothing that can pick them up.
Right,
Come
and
here,
not even,
DRC don't even have
Right.
nothing to pick them up. And just like the metal and the construction debris out there, I'm talking about, that's going somewhere down the line, like Ricky said, we got the landowner is gonna have to take some of that responsibility and do something with it.
I know on Highway 30, the county said they weren't picking any of that up.
Well,
And they kept pushing it to the right of way on Highway 30 there, and
yeah, they're done after Monday. I talked to them, they said if it's not, they're not picking nothing else up.
are you seeing metal and all that on the streets now
Yeah,
too?
out many road stuff, you got metal and construction debris, it's piled up out there, and according to our ordinance, we're not supposed to pick it up.
so, I think, like I say, after tomorrow, we will make an assessment of where we are, what we have, and then, tomorrow being Wednesday, by Thursday, I think we should make our decision as to what we're gonna do on Monday.
How do you think, I've ridden around a little bit, but do you think from just general storm debris, what percentage you think is picked up?
I'm gonna probably say, 85-90% of it.
Okay.
You probably still got 15 or 20% of it still in, cause we were down here, we've got about 30 loads, we still got to haul. We hauled and dumped out down here right after the storm hit that weekend and stuff. Luckily, Corin, I talked to the county today, they're not gonna, he's almost 90% sure they're not gonna charge us for it.
Yeah.
Since it is storm debris. That's one thing, it is saving us a chunk of money. If the county was charging us to dump every load we hauled out there.
Yeah.
We done be get $300,000 or $400,000 by now.
Well, we need to have a bonfire, if that's
Well,
the case.
to that point, I brought up probably 2 years ago when we were talking about dump fees, and maybe it's even last October, November when we just had these hurricanes or whatever. And we went to the county at the time, the county said they couldn't fluctuate those dump fees because it'd cause a snowball effect. But, we have this property up here, and we've talked about one homeowner that gets frustrated when we burn it. But Shelby County as a county is burning right now in the middle of Mount Laurel.
Well, that's the reason they quitting.
So,
As Clay said, they threw out the money because then people are
Yeah.
eating them alive.
but for them to do that in the Mount Laurel, I'm still a proponent. We need to find some place to burn this debris because that in a normal day or in a normal haul off, that's a lot of money in lands.
Every time we fill our brush truck up, you're looking from $75 to $90 every time you go out there. And some weeks that we haul 7 or 8, 10 loads a week.
Yeah.
And people, as soon as we get it picked up, they've got it piled back up out there.
So the debris removal contract does have a provision for burning the debris,
Mhm.
and they have some sort of smoke containment burning process. I mean, it doesn't eliminate the
Mhm,
smoke,
yeah.
but it reduces it. And it's around $4 a yard though. So
And it would be
just to burn
beneficial.
it.
I don't know. Never knew that the county landfill had a burn site. So, I mean, I don't even know where it's at, but I mean, it may be a worth conversation. The answer may be immediately no. Can we take stuff in the future to their burn site and let them burn with everything else they got?
Well, that's what they do, but they're still gonna charge us
Okay.
for it. After all this is over with.
Okay.
We just need, like I said, we just need to figure out what we're gonna do about the metal and all that stuff out in the subdivisions.
Yeah, to me, going back, and I mentioned this to the mayor too, that's the problem, that's the issue we've got with this faith-based group, Christ in Action. They're tearing down houses, which saves the homeowner a lot of money, but I would think from an insurance perspective that debris should be covered in homeowners. I don't know.
Well, for most of the houses, they
Their dumpster.
put a dumpster on that there. It's usually just where people had stuff blowed off in their yard, it's got it piled up there. The church team is put a dumpster on everything, because me and Chris talked about that.
Now, they're supposed to only be tearing down uninsured property, right?
They're doing some underinsured properties.
Underinsured, okay.
But, we can talk about this. So say for instance, the apartments out on Mooney Road. They're owned by a rental realty company.
They don't use our service.
So in my opinion, the realty company and the rental company should be responsible for that haul off if there's anything there. That's just,
We probably done picked it up because we're trying to get everything cleaned up out there just to get it
It
out
was
of
on
the
the
way.
road, yeah.
Mhm.
Anything else, Alan?
No, sir.
Any other questions for Alan?
you've done a good job.
Yeah, it's been a lot of work, and yes, it is an expense, and that's the reason why we discussed it a few council meetings ago, and we set a not to exceed cost. I'm surprised that we have gotten to the 15,000 yards. We kind of thought initially we weren't going to make that.
We're gonna be there.
Yeah, I agree. And if we go tomorrow, then we're going to be approaching 20,000 yards, so. But it's just one of those unfortunate things that needed to be addressed, and so we've done the best we can, and as I understand, there'll probably be some people who still won't be happy, but we'll try to endeavor to persevere. Okay, municipal court. Liz?
Okay, we've had no lost time or any safety issues. Court attendance is down still due to COVID. The budget is good and it is improving. We are actually 24% up from last month's collection. Staff is good. There's no facility issue. We changed the collection bulletin or the vehicle collection. Bullet to collection on mine. I don't know why it didn't get changed up there. We collected $10,512 via the new kiosk and in credit card since we got it. March collection was $20,680. Out of that, $9,629.15 was actually city money. The 7,362 of it and 85 cents was money that I had to cut to the state DA's office and other county places because we send out money to all kind of groups. The other $3,498.38 are collections that we took on still open cases because we do a partial payment program, which I think every court does partial payments, and those are collections that has not been divvied out to the state or the city yet. And that's about it.
Okay.
Any
Any
questions?
questions
So you
for the
think-
magistrate?
So you think that kiosk has been very helpful?
It has,
Outside of COVID, you think that was
Yes.
a good?
We have, like, when they make arrests at night and it's a cash bond, I can take a credit card, because a lot of people want to pay out with a credit card. That means we don't have to come up here, lock it up in the vault. It is done right there on the credit card. I've done a lot of unnecessary overtime, having a lot of money sitting just out here or having to go into the vault at night.
When you say credit card, is that a debit card, or can you actually put it on your credit?
The only card that we do not take is an American Express. But I mean, it does charge a fee. That is the credit card company. It charges, I think, Charlene, 4.5. I think it's 4.5, but 90% of your people, they don't care. They rather have a credit card company than a court.
That's right. Get out.
But I get miles on my.
Yeah, you get the.
Yeah.
That's not, they don't accept American Express. So, but actually, I don't get very many people want to use American Express. But yes, the kiosk has been very useful.
Okay, well, good.
Okay, any other questions? Thanks, Liz. Okay, board reports. The only thing I'm aware of is the water board did meet, did they not, Alan?
Yes, sir.
Or did you participate in that?
Yes, sir.
All right, could you share with us?
On the water board, they are, currently, fixing to they're redoing their insurance through Brooks Carter, updating it, increasing some of their insurance where stuff is underinsured and stuff is the main thing we talked about. And got a lot of older equipment, they had full coverage on it, they've dropped into liability. And talking about what work they're doing on the streets, and we're fixing to repay, they're replacing some fire plugs and some valves and getting all that through North Main done. And this week, they're gonna fitted 2 fire plugs on Mildred Street and put new fire plugs in them. And they hired one full-time lady, and she's not coming. She changed her mind and decided she wasn't coming, so they're back in the process of looking at applications for office personnel.
Okay. So we did have a meeting a few weeks ago with John Farr, and this was actually before the tornado, to talk about the joint responsibilities of City Hall and the Water Board in the billing process due to sewer fees and things of that nature. And the tornado then struck after that, and it's kind of consumed us all. So we do need to get back with the folks at the Water Board. We went ahead and did, from our perspective here in the conference room, sort of what our belief of the current as-is process is. We now need to bring the Water Board folks over to take a look at it, let us all agree on what the as-is, and then figure out how we can change it and improve it. The purpose for all this is the Water Board is a non-governmental entity, but it is a municipal corporation from the city of Columbiana. And so they're basically a business, okay? But they do the billing for garbage and sewer for the city of Columbiana. And what we want to try to get away from is when somebody goes to get their water turned on and that they can't handle everything in a one-stop shop. And they're told, oh, you got to go to City Hall for this or that. And likewise, if they come to City Hall, hopefully we could help them solve the problem with the one-stop shop. So we want to try to make that process a little bit more seamless and easier for the customer, if you will, and less burdensome even for us. It even, I think, causes additional work both for the folks at the Water Board as well as here in City Hall when we're bouncing customers back and forth trying to sort out things like water, sewer, and sanitation. So more to come on that, I guess. That's sort of an internal issue for the city. Okay. All right. Any other board reports?
No.
Okay. We have a new officer that we need to swear in. So, Chief, would you like to do the introduction, and then we'll come down here by the flag and do the swearing in ceremony.
Sure. This is our new officer, this officer, Alexis Rittenhouse. She came to us from Georgia. She's a transplant. She was with Dalton County, Georgia for 5 years, is that right? Okay. So she comes to us with some pretty good experience. She just completed her refresher course through the Alabama APO Standards Commission. So she's now certified in the state of Alabama, and we're extremely pleased to have her. She has only been with us for roughly about 3 months, but has really stepped up to the plate and shown that she has definitely been worth what we spent on her to send to the academy. And I told her she can't leave for at least 5 years.
That's right.
She's got to stick around for a while.
That's right.
We're truly pleased to have her.
Jeff, do you have a camera?
Sure.
Allie does.
Allie, you got it? You covered? Okay. Alexis, if you don't mind, I'm fully vaccinated, so I can. We'll come over here by the flag and do this. Right here, so make sure you get a good picture, I guess. Okay. All right, so if you'll raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Alexis Rittenhouse,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Alabama,
and the Constitution of the State of Alabama,
so long as I continue a citizen thereof,
so long as I continue a citizen thereof,
and that I will faithfully and honestly
and that I will faithfully and honestly
discharge the duties of the office of police officer,
discharge the duties of the office of police officer,
upon which I am about to enter,
upon which I am about to enter,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God. Thank you.
Welcome aboard. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Okay. All right, we've got several proclamations on the agenda. The first one is the, we'll find it here. You know what? I don't have it here. So I'll just read it here. The proclamation on 2021 proclamation on child abuse prevention. So I'm not going to go through and read the entire proclamation, but I think basically the purpose of this is to recognize in the city of Columbiana that April is Child Prevention Month. And I don't think there's anybody in this city that would deny or not agree that child abuse is a horrific crime. And we want to make sure that we're all aware and that we do everything that we can to protect the innocent children in our community. So what I'm going to do, you can all read this stuff. It'll be posted on the website, but move on down to the last two paragraphs. It says, whereas we acknowledge that we must work together as a community to increase awareness about child abuse and contribute to the social and emotional well-being of children and families in a safe, stable, nurturing environment. Now, therefore, it's resolved that the City Council of the City of Columbiana, Alabama, recognizes April 2021 as National Child Abuse Prevention Month in Columbiana, Alabama. We pledge to dedicate ourselves to the task of improving the quality of life for all children and families and to prevent child abuse. Let it be proclaimed. Okay. This is also actually next month, May of 2021, is Mental Health Month, and we would like to recognize that in Columbiana as well. You know, mental health is a terrible disease that that many people really still do not understand today, and understand the harm that it brings to both individuals and families alike. And I think as a society and as the science of medicine as a whole is still learning how to deal and cope and help people that are dealing with mental health issues. So we certainly want to promote mental health awareness in Columbiana. So again, I'll read the last two paragraphs. Whereas each business, school, government agency, healthcare provider, organization, and citizen shares the burden of mental health problems and has a responsibility to promote mental wellness and support prevention efforts. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Columbiana, Alabama, do hereby proclaim May 2021 as Mental Health Month in the City of Columbiana. As the City Council, we also call upon the citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, and schools in Columbiana to recommit our community to increasing awareness and understanding of mental health, the steps our citizens can take to protect their mental health, and the need appropriate and accessible services for all people with mental health conditions. So let it be proclaimed. Okay, April is actually Fair Housing Awareness Month. Now, to be honest with you, fair housing is federal law, and we profess in the City of Columbiana to be not only aware of, but compliant with federal law when it comes to fair housing anyway. But April 11th marks the 53rd anniversary of the passage of the United States Fair Housing Law, and therefore April's the Fair Housing Month. So, again, last two paragraphs, whereas the effective implementation of the national policy depends on affirmative action at all levels of government, now therefore be it resolved that the City Council for the City of Columbiana does hereby proclaim the month of April 2021 as Fair Housing Month in recognition of the importance of fair housing to our way of life, and I urge our citizens to obey the letter, and the spirit of the Fair Housing Law as an expression of individual rights guaranteed by the United States Constitution. So let it be proclaimed. Okay. We recently awarded a bid for a contract for the lawn maintenance for the Old Mill Square. The bid opening was a week or so ago. Charlene, why don't you just tell us real quick about it?
This is for, Old Mill Square, the, lawn maintenance, mowing, trimming, anything else that may come up. That was open May 13th. And the low bid was Bones Lawn Care at $3,400 monthly.
Okay. So with the approval of the council, as mayor, I'm authorized to sign this contract. So I would entertain a motion for a resolution to award this bid for the Old Mill Square.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that you approve Resolution 04-2104 to award the bid for Old Mill Square lawn maintenance to Bone Lawn Care.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? All right, we're gonna get the grass cut at Old Mill Square, so it's unanimous consent there. Okay, this is also another resolution for a contract with Big Friendly Productions for Liberty Day 2021. And basically, well, Alan, why don't you explain what Big Friendly is gonna do for us?
So this is the contract with Big Friendly. Big Friendly is the production company that helps make Liberty Day happen. So this includes all of the stages, the lighting, the sound, all of the production costs for Liberty Day.
Is the cost of the entertainment included in
And
this?
that's
number?
well,
Or is that
it's a
separate?
separate contract.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so,
And so this year there are actually 2 stages on Saturday during the day, a stage on Main Street and a stage in Old Mill Square Park. So Liberty Day's great.
and Friday night
And
is
Friday night will be also on Main Street.
on Main Street.
Yeah.
So there's another couple of charts on that. It's really gonna be, I think, if the weather holds out and we don't have an issue like last year, it's gonna be a really great event. And we've done a lot of work last year, notwithstanding the rain, which sort of, no pun intended, dampened things as far as the event on Saturday evening and the fireworks show. The amount of participation that we had from donors, et cetera, was tremendous. It was about 10 times what we had the previous year, even with COVID-19. So I'm really looking forward to this Liberty Day being something really good. So if the council's in agreement and would authorize me to sign that contract, I would entertain a motion for a resolution to sign the contract.
Mr. Mayor, I introduce resolution 042105. It's authorizing the mayor to sign a contract with Big Friendly Productions for Liberty Day 2021.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? All right, so what I wanted to do is kind of show everybody what's actually going to be going on Liberty Day. We, on Friday evening, we're having a variety band. We have gotten a lot of feedback that sometimes the music doesn't necessarily support all the audiences, doesn't necessarily, it'll either support young or old. And this particular group that we found out of Atlanta called the Shimmer Band has a little bit of everything. They basically will play old rock and roll, Motown, blues, some country, hip hop. This is their promotional video, so just I want to get people sort of excited about it, and this is the Shimmer Band. It's gonna go. So their promotional video is kind of long, about 4 minutes, but I think it's because they're a variety band and they're trying to show people. In full disclosure, I recommended this band about 2 years ago. They performed at our son's wedding reception. I started to show you a video of
You dancing?
well, no, you didn't want to see that. I was going to show you a video of Mama dancing with her baby boy, and we had asked the band to play this song called Mama by Boys to Men back in the 80s. And I didn't show it because probably both Mama and Daddy would have probably started crying.
I know Mama would have.
All right, so the more famous you are, the shorter your promotional videos are. So this is Little Texas. They're the headliners on Saturday. This won't last as long. This is only about a minute.
Little Texas. There's no way to know what might have been. I miss you, honey, life goes on. Dallas, Texas.
So this will be out at the high school football stadium on Saturday night and with the fireworks show after that. So I think Liberty Day, with all the events that we'll be having during the days and the entertainment in the evening, is going to be a really, really good event. So we have an item, Karen Jensen, you, Ms. Jensen, Lay Lake Homeowners and Boaters Association regarding water quality. So the floor is yours.
All right, stand over here. I'm Karen Jensen from the Lay Lake Homeowners and Boat Owners Association. It's called Lay Lake HOBO. And we encourage people to come out to the lake and enjoy it. And I'm here to raise consciousness and concern and get some sympathy. And to congratulate you on the wastewater package block grant that you got. Yay. Everything that's done for water, we totally appreciate. So I'm here to urge the city's continued appreciation of our lake, which I think is only 12 miles away and is a resource for the community. It's got fishing and swimming and wildlife viewing and all kinds of wonderful boating, of course. And it also has, it's also a drinking water source for nearby communities along the treatment plants along 145, you know that, of course. And they service Westover and Chelsea, and they sell water to Alabaster and Highland Park and Greystone. So at any rate, I'm just trying to focus, and I know that you're not responsible for that lake, but a lot of people here enjoy it and come out. We're thrilled about that. And we're very concerned because the Gaston plant up there in Wilsonville has a real old unlined coal ash pits. Back in the day, I think our facility there is like 118 years old, and it produces power, which we need and we appreciate. But sadly, the coal ash is causing an issue. And in all the surrounding states, the power plants have said, well, we'll just move it. We'll move them, the ash pits upland, uphill, and away from any water sources so that there's no pollution. And we're having a little issue with here in Alabama. Apparently they're not being quite so ready to move. The hearings have already ended, so the petition period is over, and it all occurred, of course, during the pandemic. So the meetings and the testimony were all very private. I know I went in a costume with my signs, and they took away my signs, but they let me wear my costume because no one wants to see a naked old lady. Which I totally understand. So at any rate, that period is over, and we're waiting for Alabama Department of Environmental Management, AEM, to come up with their conclusions. And it's very possible that they will go along with the plant and to save money and just put a roof over the top and let it drip into the groundwater and the adjacent lake into perpetuity. I love that word. Forever. So that's a concern. Even though I'm 100 years old almost, you know, I do care about the next generation. I've been here for 22 years and love the area. And I belong to Culture Club, and we support Liberty Days with a small contribution.
You can make it bigger.
Well, the way this gal sells cakes, it may be bigger next time. So at any rate, I'm just hoping for, well, not just sympathy, but I know if you have any influence or, I don't know, to help this issue along, or if you're able to speak out at some point, it would be wonderful, because the water is so important. And even Commissioner Morris agreed to come to this last meeting, and they wouldn't let him in because he hadn't pre-registered to speak. So
you're talking about County Commissioner Kevin Morris?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So he is our county commissioner as well. So I appreciate you coming. To be honest with you, I wish you had come before the hearings, and so that we could have, communicated the information out to people who would be interested in it. The sad thing, and I don't want to sound like I'm making an excuse or anything, but a municipality like Columbiana has precious little authority to do anything, and all of our authority stems from the state legislature. But you've already had ADEM involved, you've already had the county commission involved, and it's important, obviously, to have your voice heard. And so, by virtue of this forum, which is being live streamed, and the minutes of this meeting, as well as the recording of this meeting, will be on the website. That will certainly help. Lay Lake's important to Columbiana. The traffic that the lake brings generates a lot of business in our community. And so certainly we're concerned and want to make sure that the lake is protected. Having said that, a lot of people in our community and surrounding communities probably work at the steam plant in Wilsonville, and electrical energy and affordable electric power is also important to the people in our community. So there's got to be a balance there somewhere, and I certainly don't know what the answer is, but the only way that we'll ever get to it is if there's collaboration from a broad spectrum of our society and awareness. So hopefully we can help with that. Anybody else got any questions or comments for Ms. Jensen?
Thank you for
All
your
right, well, thank you.
sympathy.
All righty.
We'll keep working.
Okay, mayor's report. I was going to primarily just talk about the tornado relief update, and we kind of got on most of that subject, so I won't talk a great deal about the debris contractor in Christ in Action. So let me talk about what the Small Business Administration is doing. The Small Business Administration, and this was on the television news recently, and a representative from the SBA office was in with me. In fact, the very day it was on the news, had come and spoken to me about it. They have been authorized to provide emergency assistance, even though the area has not been declared a federal disaster. Now, that emergency assistance, when we think about Small Business Administration, naturally we think about businesses. And these are loans. This is not, they're not going to give grants or money, but it's small businesses who were harmed by the tornadoes would be entitled to some special considerations for loans. Now, unfortunately, the declaration has only been extended for the tornadoes in January of this year, which hit Fultondale and Pinson and parts of Birmingham, Roebuck area, et cetera. They are trying to get this declaration extended for the March tornadoes, which affected Columbiana. Now, fortunately for Columbiana, fortunately or unfortunately, I guess it depends upon your perspective, the tornadoes pretty much spared our business district, okay? There may be small businesses that I'm not aware of that were impacted by the tornado. But there is also a provision for uninsured homeowners to be able to get personal loans up to $200,000 to help cover their expenses at 1.25% interest. So I don't know what the payback period is, but still, it is an opportunity. So I am hopeful and cautiously optimistic that that is going to be extended to the March tornadoes. But I wanted to make people aware about this. It's been on the news. It's been publicized in some of the newspapers that right now Columbiana is not able, or residents and businesses of Columbiana are not able to take advantage of it because it does not apply to the March tornadoes, only the January. So hopefully that'll be happening. Now, FEMA, the state has not been declared a disaster area as far as the March tornadoes, and so the state is not eligible for FEMA assistance. And I talked about this process in the last council meeting, so I'm not going to go into the details there, but I did get notified today that Governor Ivey has requested a 30-day extension. The law allows the states to request a 30-day extension on the damage assessments. So basically saying that because of the amount of the damage and the work that was being done to simultaneously clean up and deal with the damage that has impacted damage assessments, and at the same time, some inconvenience or concern because of COVID-19, which has slowed the process down. So that letter was dated April the 15th, and I received a copy of it today. I don't know whether or not they've gotten any feedback. I kind of got, based on reading the email, and I'm not certain of this, but I sort of drew the conclusion that just asking for the 30-day extension gets you the 30-day extension. Now, some representatives of Senator Tuberville's office have told me via email that they believe that the state is going to qualify for the federal disaster declaration. That does not mean that Shelby County will, because it is based on uninsured property damage. And again, fortunately or unfortunately, depending upon your perspective, most of the property damage that has occurred in Shelby County was insured. So Shelby County may not meet the threshold. But again, we have more time to try to assess all that and make that happen. So that's all I've got on that. Is there any questions or comments? I don't know if I'd be able to answer them, but I'd try. Okay, announcements, Alan?
Alright, so this Saturday is Art on Main Street from 10 until 7:30. It's supposed to be an outdoor event with a stage set up on Main Street and 2 stages in Olney Square Park. Right now, the chance of rain is like 95% for Saturday.
Oh,
And
no.
so the plan B is to move that event inside the Grand Hall. So there'll be students from 22 different schools in Shelby County performing on Saturday. Student artwork will be all in shops on Main Street and in the Grand Hall. So I encourage everybody to come out and support these kids. They've worked really hard all year long to be able to perform, and I hope that they do.
2 things. We have had the juried art exhibits in the
So that is
EBSCO
still
gallery.
there, right, and that will be there through.
So people can go see that now.
Yeah,
And
so they can
it's
go-
pretty amazing, some of the work that these
Yeah,
kids
the
can do.
student artwork is completely amazing.
And when are we gonna make a decision about Saturday?
So by Thursday afternoon, we'll make a decision whether to bring it inside or leave it outside. So hopefully the forecast will kind of change.
I hope so.
I do too.
Oh,
I saw where most of it's gonna be south.
I hope so.
I
Yeah.
hope
I
so.
try only to briefly look.
That's right.
It stresses me out. So, and then next week, there are actually COVID clinics every single day at Olney Square Park. We thought they were just, I missed a date in there somehow, and so there's a COVID vaccination clinic every day at Olney Square at the Grand Hall. So if you have not been vaccinated and you would like to be vaccinated, you can make an appointment at shelbyal.com. Like, trying to pitch that to everyone.
Allie, when will those stop?
Right
Yeah,
now, they're booked all the way till the end of May,
okay.
that we know of.
Okay.
So.
I hear there's an abundance of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. I'm sorry, couldn't resist that.
Mhm.
Ted Metz is gonna reveal his sculpture, at Olney Square Park on Saturday, May the 2nd. This is, they used the millstone to create this giant chair, and it's called the county seat. The name of the sculpture is the county seat. So you'll be able to like climb up in the seat chair and sit in it. But that reveal is May the 2nd at Olney Square Park. And then, the new city website should go live on Friday, May 7th. We've been working hard to try to get all of that done. And
Can we,
hopefully-
by any chance, at least
Oh,
the
yeah.
council get a sneak preview?
Yeah, we got you. So
Don't
we
wanna
had
be
an
embarrassed.
internal meeting. I don't remember when, but I thought I sent it in. And then Music on Main Street will return in June. So every Friday night in June, there'll be something happening on Main Street in Columbiana. The first 3 Fridays will be Music on Main, and then the last Friday, of course, is Liberty Day, so. That's it.
Do you know who's playing on those nights?
No, we literally decided this yesterday.
Okay.
So we'll go from there. So we haven't decided yet. So. But that is, Music on Main is a Columbiana Main Street event in coordination with the city. So.
Any questions for Ally? All right. Open to the public. Any questions or comments?
I have one comment.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Nettles has come forward to sponsor the car show for Liberty Day
Mhm.
and purchase t-shirts for the entries, the car owners that enter their vehicle in the show.
Okay, that's great.
So it's a big, well, it saves us a lot of trouble of going to so many different people trying to
Right.
get someone to help us, but Dr. Nettles, he said, yes, ma'am, I'll do it. So I got the check yesterday and delivered it to Alex, so we're good.
Good job.
That's outstanding.
That's good.
That's actually one of the best
Like car
parts
shows.
of Liberty Day is I
Car
like
show.
living those old cars. Sadly, I used to enjoy riding in 57 Chevys when they were new. So, okay, any other questions or comments from anybody?
I've got a couple things before you move. I didn't
You
know.
bet.
Yeah. 4 things, and 3 are statements, 1 question for the chief. So Friday, so if we don't know, the baseball team, you know, you got Ashley down here that wins area championships all the time. It seems like in softball for the school. But so baseball won the high school baseball team won the area championship. So they're hosting the first round of the 5A state playoffs on Friday night. I think the first game's at 4:30, and then the second game will follow after that. So it's the best 2 out of 3. So if they split on Friday, then they'll play a single game on Saturday. So it's the first time in 11 years that I think that they've even made the playoffs. I think it's the first time they may even won the area. So it's a big deal. You see on the street that some of the business owners have let them paint and all that stuff. So if you get the opportunity and you know some people that want to come, obviously there's I get the information to Allie. You can order tickets online and they go to your phone or whatever. There's no cash at the gate. So I think that'd be a big, tremendous showing if the community did that. So the other big news is Shelby County High School is getting a new principal. I think that's important in a lot of ways. Obviously, the principal that they lost was very tremendous to the community. She's been here a long, long time. But she went to the board, which would help us there. So I think they're going through the interview process now to fill that principal spot with a high school. So that's going to be a big ticket item for the community and the school pretty soon. I don't know how long Ms. Snyder been there, Ashley. Do you know?
I think 15 years.
15 years. So it's been a long time. The other thing is I was talking to JP Dice the day after the tornadoes, and he said once they get restricted from the mask ordinance where they can travel, he wants to do a weather radio event here. So I'm sure he'll reach out. So I don't know if I've talked to anybody about that, but he was excited about doing that. So I know we did that a couple of years ago. The last one, Chief, out there going toward the intersection at Regions Bank and Depot Street? No, the Depot? Have we ever tried to get a traffic light out there? What's the guidelines for that? Just out of curiosity.
I've had Al working on that too.
Okay.
It seemed like we did it one time.
Yeah, I remember us.
I'm not exactly sure where that, I think Hillary had something that Al could probably tell you a lot more about that.
You looking in excess of $100,000 to get a traffic light put up out there.
City expense.
Plus, unless we can get a grant, and the state may put some of their money into it, but then we'll be responsible for maintaining it. Anything that messes up on the city, that's probably like the one we got now, we're responsible for all of those. Everything, how thought had to be involved in it, they had to do a traffic study to see that it wants a red light.
Okay.
It been on the state highway.
Yeah, I would just think that's a high.
It's an urgent thing.
Yeah, and I didn't know if there was a distance between red lights that you couldn't put so many red lights between the distance, but it seems that that would be a big traffic item. So anyway, just a thought there, but.
Well, I think the first thing we could do is ask for the traffic study. We probably need to go to AlDOT because I would like to get them to do the traffic study on the bypass there relative to the speed limits. This is coming from where you're talking about the section from Brown's, past the vet clinic. So maybe we could wrap all that into one visit to Aldott and have that conversation.
Because I mean, I would think from a police standpoint, it would eliminate your officers having to stand out there in the middle of the street.
You know, we've been wanting a red light there for
Yeah.
many years.
And it would obviously hopefully slow down traffic and it would help the traffic flow tremendously, I think. Okay.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Alan, do we control the light out at Brown? I've had a lot of people complain about the length that they're at the red light, main of all.
You set by Aldott orders the time, still,
Okay.
the state regulates what time you set on them. So you're responsible for any kind of maintenance on them.
I'll pass it on.
So you don't have a little magic button, you just watch them and just see.
They wouldn't let him do that.
All right. Are there any other questions, comments from anyone? Council?
Yeah, I'm gonna add to Ricky about the baseball.
Okay.
This is the second area championship in over 40 years. The last coach to win the area championship was James Lawshe in the 90s. And, it was 94, 95, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal.
It is.
So the gate fee's $8. So it'll get you 2 games on Friday and then another gate fee will be $8 on Saturday, so.
Are they doing GoFan?
Yes.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's it. Me.
Ally, what is the cleanup day you were talking about last time for Liberty Day? Are we having a
The
cleanup day?
12th,
The
June
12th.
the 12th.
June the 12th, okay.
Okay. Other comments? Is there a motion to adjourn?